Hello, so you want to learn how to make websites. In that case, you need to learn HTML. Let's start at the very beginning. What exactly is HTML and why do I need it? Let's break it down from the basics and build our way up. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. It's basically a way to describe the structure of a web page using markup. This structure is made up of elements, and each element is represented by tags. Tags act like labels for your content, whether it's a heading, a paragraph, a table, or something else. You won't actually see the tags on the page, but they control how your content is shown. Sounds like a lot, right? Don't worry, we'll go through it together, and it'll start to make sense. Here's how an HTML page is built. We begin by declaring that it's an HTML document. The HTML tag is the root of the entire page. Inside it, the head holds information about the page, like the title. The body contains everything you actually see on the screen. For example, H1 makes a big heading, while P creates a paragraph. Now let's talk about tags. Most tags come in pairs, a starting tag and an ending tag. The ending tag looks the same as the starting one, but has a / before the name. So for a paragraph, you'd write P, then your text. The text in between is what appears on the page. But here's the big question. How does all this code become a real website? That's where web browsers step in. Whether you're using Chrome, Firefox, Edge, or Safari, the browser's job is to read the HTML and render it as a web page. You never see the code itself. It just tells the browser how to display everything. Here's a simple way to picture the structure of an HTML page. At the very top, you've got the HTML element. Inside that sits the head section, where things like the page title live, and below it is the body, which holds everything you actually see on the page. That's the foundation, but let's dive deeper. When you're just starting out, you don't need fancy tools. Sure, professional developers often use HTML editors, but as a beginner, it's best to start with something simple like Notepad on Windows or TextEdit on Mac. Learning the basics in a plain text editor helps you focus on the essentials before moving to more advanced software. Now, what makes up an HTML element? Most of them have 3 parts: a start tag, the content inside, and an end tag. Everything from the start tag to the end tag is considered one complete element. For example, the P element creates a paragraph, so you'd write, then your text, and finally, put together, that's a paragraph element. All HTML documents are built from nested elements, which means elements inside other elements. For instance, the body element sits inside HTML, and inside the body you might have a heading, H1, and a paragraph. Here's how it looks in action. HTML defines the whole document. Inside it, body defines the visible part of the page. Within body, you could add an H1 with my first heading and a P with my first paragraph. Always remember to close your tags. Sometimes the browser will try to guess where the end is if you forget, but that can lead to weird errors. That said, not every element has an end tag. Some are empty elements, meaning they don't hold content. For example, the BR tag simply creates a line break. It doesn't need an opening and closing pair. Oh, and one more thing. HTML tags are not case sensitive. Writing them in lowercase or uppercase means the same thing. However, the best practice and standard is to stick with lowercase. And with that, you've got the core idea of how HTML elements work and how they fit together. In our next video, we'll dive deeper into how HTML works alongside CSS and JavaScript, and we may even create a few simple HTML projects together. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.